got the boat turned upside down now. I was able to do it by myself. I've got some light bars when I was doing video production hanging on the ceiling, so I just wrap a rope around one of the bars and then around the hull and lift it up about a foot or two, and then just stand at the stern and just rotate it around, and it just flips over and comes back down again. So it's, I guess if they can't find you handsome. So now I'm going to be taking off all the, or I'm in the process of taking off all the little pieces of tape that I put over the bolt holes that we drilled to hold the panels, keep them from riding over each other. So I've got that done with these last two pieces, and next I'm going to go out or get my cabinet scraper out and start going along here flat, because now you want to be particularly careful to not tack any of these edges with any kind of rasp or shaping or sanding or whatever. You want to come along and maintain that angle at all costs, because if you try to round it out, you're going to be round in one spot and then it'll be sharper in the other, and it won't look right. So we'll get on with that as I get out the cabinet scraper. Okay, I got my cabinet scraper out. I'll come along and hold it square, on it flat on the surface. I'm working this edge right here, so I'm going to be certain that this one is the edge that I guide against. I'm working on this side, and I'll make sure that I have everything right here. Also, if you do break out your rasp for something that's a little bit stiff, I've got to use my extra fine side, is to push down on this side and not do any kind of rounding where you're in motion. So make certain. I'm going to have to give up. You're just going to learn that I'm going to say that all the time. So push down hard, not too hard where you're going to gouge and don't use anything that's going to be too rough or you're going to start messing up. Now this, you don't have to worry about it too much on this section because it's going to be covered with glass, but when you're doing one of the upper areas above the layer of glass, which may or may not stop at this joint here. I'll see how wide it is to where I do the cutoff. But you want to, if you have to, I'm left-handed, I can go this way on this zone, but I have to switch around and follow the curve. I can feel the rasp moving in my hands as the edge falls away. So make certain that you're pressed down on this panel and not that one. Go ahead and do the hole, and we'll come back with some prep later. Next thing that will come up will be the edges will get silver tipped with just straight mixed epoxy, and to get in down and fill up even the little cracks of the epoxy will fill up, and I'll come back with either some slow fare, easy fillet, or System 3's new, what do they call that? Sculpt something or other, and try that. Okay, it took me about, I don't know, half an hour to go through on all the seams. Doesn't take long. You're not trying to do a complete finish. Basically what you're trying to do is in all the wire holes that were bored up, you're going to have these little bits of plywood surface that will be hanging up, and then some of the other places are where the epoxy, when we were wetting out the seams on the inside, either for the pre-wet out before the easy fillet, any of the epoxy was going to drip through, and then some of the places where we put in the easy fillet material for the bolt holes, they'll come through. But most of the times they'll stay just below the surface. So now I've got it smooth enough that I can come along with one of my tools for when I put down the Sculpt Fair was the name of the product I was going to be using to fill in these holes. They're small enough. I don't need something like easy fillet where the wood filled epoxy has a little more compressive strength. Basically I'm trying to just smooth up the edges before I put on the glass. There'll be a layer of glass, a 3-inch tape on these seams, and then on the bottom there'll be, then we'll go through the fairing and all that stuff before we put on the bottom layer of glass. And then once I get that wetted out, then I'm going to go ahead and put in the skeg on the bottom. But now I want to cut out the centerboard trunk, so let me go ahead and get my big drill out and set it on top, bore through, and get ready to cut that out. You'll remember we drilled all those holes in the bottom of the dagger board trunk when I had the opening cut in the top of the seat. So now I'm just going to take back someplace and then just take my wood bit and drill a couple holes. I know I'm going to be inside the edge there. The other hole, and then I'll get my jigsaw out and stay inside, and I'll come back and trim it up later after I get that done with the router. Okay, I've got the basic hole cut out with my skill saw or jigsaw, and I got a little bit of a lip in there. I'll go ahead and fine tune that, get it down so where the router isn't chewing up so much wood, and then I'll come back and do that. When you're cutting this, you want to be certain that when you're doing it, if it's a severe angle, then you have the jigsaw setting like that, that you want to be certain that the blade isn't kicking up on the other end, on the other side of the dagger board inside. So just kind of have an idea of how long the stroke is on this thing, so you know that it's not going to be digging up the other side, which it hasn't. So be careful when you're doing this that you don't get the wrong angle and start chewing up the side. Okay, I've got this all cut out now, and I'll smooth up the edges with my rasp. And then this will also I'll have to round over this upper edge right here, because remember, glass doesn't want to roll over a sharp edge, so I'll give it just a little bit of a radius so that the glass tape will come in on the ends and fold down inside. And then it's going to be 3-inch, so I'll have to cut out a little opening for that. But when I put in the cloth on the bottom, it will roll over about 1 inch on the inside too. So okay, I've got the edge sanded down, rounded over, so except the fiberglass rolling into it. And I also scavenged up the piece I cut out. It's always nice to get a good look and see how much thickness on the fillet and the glassing and everything in it. And it's nice and tight. There's no play. If you try to bend it, it doesn't want to break. So I'm going to have a good strong backbone on the bottom here. And it'll be more so when I get some more glass on it too. So let me get in, go on with it.